Welcome to Triple H, Hamilton Happy Hour, where we talk about pianos, talk about music, and everything else in between. Hey everybody, this is Tobias Hamilton with Hamilton Piano Company, and we are with Hamilton Happy Hour, and we're with Mike and Mike, and we are here for our next podcast.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, everybody?
So we do not have a guest for you tonight, and there's a reason for that. Well, it's not because we couldn't get anybody. It's
Because we couldn't get it.
it's because I'm going to eat crow tonight, okay? Well, we kind of all are with some certain things. But first is, stop pointing at me. First is, how you guys doing? You guys doing good?
We're doing great.
Excellent.
Good. We're up to 535 star reviews.
We made it past the holidays.
Yep.
Everything's good. We had a good holiday season.
Yeah, we did.
What did we do for our record?
We matched our record.
We matched our record.
in piano sales this year, so we did good with that. We did break it, and then we tied it. So but that's all well and good. This year we're hoping to break it in numerous amount of numbers, not just by one.
Yeah, right.
Which
By at least 3 or 4.
We were skating a thin line there.
we want to break it by July, so the next half of the year is coasting.
Well, we have a new way to help us break that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we do. So, if any of you have listened to our earlier podcast, the first, second episode, third episode, something like that.
Second or third.
Yeah. We were talking about digital pianos and how, we were kind of against them. And, well, now we're kind of for them.
As evidenced behind Tobias, you can see.
over there. We are now the Roland dealer for Palm Beach County. And we became the Roland dealer. Mike had actually brought it to my attention because we had some Rolands come through our shop, and we would uncrate them, put them together, and then deliver them. And they are nice.
Yes.
Nice,
very nice
pianos. So much better than I thought they would be. So, Bolin, he brought it up to us, and I said, well, let me give him a call. So I did, and
Did some research on them.
And Ellen, the rep for Roland, came to us, and we had a nice conversation. And Wayne happened to pop in, who helps us during the summertime with selling pianos. And we were talking about it, and I was, the more and more we talked about it, and the more the features that these pianos have is incredible. The 10-year warranty that they give, because that's how sure they are of their product, is more than I think any other digital company out there. So we decided to become a Roland dealer. So they're over there, and you're more than welcome to come in and see them firsthand to check them out. We sold our first one today after being a Roland dealer for 2 weeks, I think.
Yep.
So we sold one today, and they are very, very nice. The bells and whistles that these digital pianos have is really kind of incredible. I mean, you can change the touch weight on the keys. You can have an app to change certain things with them, and you can record with them. I mean, you
can add music to them.
Yep, and we have the Baby Grand over there. Their flagship, Baby Grand piano, which actually is a player piano, and the keys move and it plays by itself. So for customers who want to have a playing piano, that comes with it. And there's just so many bells and whistles with these pianos that we would be stupid not to have done it.
Absolutely.
I mean, right? I mean, you agree with that?
Doubt.
Well, there's a market for it.
Yes, there is.
And as we were discussing, people were buying them online, sending them to us to deliver. Well, okay, well, if they're coming into our area and we're just doing the deliveries, why don't we step up to the plate and offer a little bit more than that?
Right.
So that's how it got born.
And the thing is that when you come to our shop and you see the difference between acoustic and digitals, I mean, of course, there's a big difference.
There is.
It's filling a need that customers want, or need, because whether it's acoustic or digital, now we can offer you both. So forgive me for what I said.
They are pianos now.
They are now pianos.
Not just keyboards.
and they are very nice pianos. But no, the technology has come a very, very long way.
Yeah.
The 10-year warranty was the thing that actually kind of sold me on it, because, come on, I mean, except for Kia, you know, I mean, where do you get a 10-year warranty?
Not on much.
Something?
Yeah. Not on much.
So that's how sure they are of their product, which makes me sure that when we are selling their product, that, you know, it's going to get backed up one way or the other. You
Yeah,
know?
Absolutely.
and some people are just not in the market for a piano. They need this because they need to be able to plug in and play silently, you know what I mean, without bugging other people if they're in an apartment or if they got kids or their kids are the ones playing and they don't want to be bothered. You know, that's a market, and it is the piano business. So, you know.
Not worry about having to put in a MIDI system or a silent
Right,
rail.
which is a whole another great expense
Exactly.
to do.
Turning an acoustic
piano.
piano to a hybrid piano where you can
Right.
do that part of it, and the colors that they come in. You know, that's the other thing too. You know, between the white, the charcoal black, and the light oak and the dark rosewood. I mean, you've got, you know, a mixture of colors that they do that are very, very good. Like the one we sold today is a light oak,
Which
and
we don't even have in stock.
we don't have, so we have to order it. But the turnaround time to get these pianos is a lot quicker than getting an acoustic piano brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really kind of a no-brainer with that part of it. So I'm excited. I mean, I really am excited. I never thought I would be excited to sell digital pianos, but it's like
It's the next step.
it is
Yeah.
the next step.
Yeah.
And
Do we have the different colors on our website?
yes,
We
yeah,
do. So you can actually see them on our web page.
Yep.
And choose different colors and stuff like that.
Yep. And they're classy. They're very, very classy.
Absolutely.
The white looks great. The black high polish looks great. They don't give me the feel of a digital piano. Do you agree with me on that?
I do.
Yeah, they've come a long way in that regard too. Not just the technology, but you know, they look nice.
Yeah, they have this baby grand feel to them, you know, with those parts of it. The verticals are a little bit different because they are still digital verticals, but they do have a nice feel to them. And it was funny because Chris was in earlier and he's like, yeah, a digital piano is better than a spin-it piano. And he's absolutely right, you know, because it is. It's better. If you have a
A lot
spin-it
easier
piano,
to tune.
yeah, because there's no tuning involved. But it is better for something like that. And if you're looking to save space, that's a space saver for sure. So, and it kind of, with being able to do all the bells and whistles with it and able to change the touch, you know, to make it lighter or heavier, and the composing that you can do on it. I mean, we're not going to get into that in this discussion for two reasons. One, we're still new to this, so we don't know it all.
We've
But
only been doing this 2 weeks now, so we're still learning everything there is to know about the Roland.
right. But just the way that they've come to us, they were pristine. We put them together. Everything was just top notch, really,
absolutely.
really top notch. And I'll get back to it again. The warranty, 10-year warranty, that's huge.
Yeah.
That is really huge. I mean, brand new piano manufacturers only give a 5-year warranty. Now, Hey Loon, who we sell, gives 15 years, which
I
is
think-
once again top notch.
I think
Yeah,
Steinway gives a 10-year too.
Steinway does.
I think so.
Don't look at me. What are you
I
looking
believe-
at?
I believe I thought I heard Steinway say that they gave a 10-year. It was either them or Boston, one of the two. I can't remember, but I mean, that's what I. had
Well,
heard.
I think
don't
for
know
acoustic
how.
pianos, a lot lot of them give it 10-year.
Do they?
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Brand
I'm
new.
pretty sure Yamaha does. Yeah, I think that, but I think that's rare in digital pianos.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But with acoustic pianos, I think 10 years kind of you're right around there.
Yeah,
You're not
most-
getting electronics malfunction.
Yeah, most
You
give
know what I mean?
5
yeah,
years.
that's true. That's true.
Most only give a 5-year warranty on them.
So we'll kind of double back on pianos being still, you know, a very viable thing.
Oh
Because,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
No. Acoustic pianos are great. Don't get me wrong.
What a conundrum.
But we also have customers that will take a digital and put it in one room and still have
Exactly.
their acoustic
Yep, true.
downstairs,
Yep.
or you know,
One will be a practice piano. One will be
absolutely,
performance
or
piano.
recording
Yeah.
on and
Differences. And that's the beauty of it, is that they're not expensive. So you can get one inexpensive to have, and you know, even some recital halls, concert halls have a digital in the practice room for them to play on before they go on stage to play on a 9-foot concert
Yeah,
Steinway,
we've seen it before for sure.
Yep.
So it's good, and they're easy to move. So if you move from here to Alabama, you can take it with you. So
Or you can hire us.
yeah.
You throw it in the back of your car, or
You can't move this by yourself. You gotta hire us.
This is
150 pounds of immovable electronic piano.
We've got special boards for these.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
so
well,
y'all are aware.
we do
Yes,
that. We
yes,
do
that is key. That is key. It has a handle and wheels. But
What I think we need too, though, because you discussed getting a GP6. We have a GP9.
I have a GP6 coming in.
You do. That's the one that's incoming.
That's the white one.
That's a white one.
Because those, I think, are the ones that move quite a bit more than the GP9. It's a fantastic piano, but I think the ones in that size are the ones that people we see buy in electronic more often.
Yep. Yeah, that one. I think she said we should get it by the end of the month.
They're pretty quick.
Somewhere on there. Yeah, no, they're pretty quick. The white one is, with any manufacturer, I don't care who it is. When you have a color that's not black, it's a little harder to get because when they have that in the assembly line and they're doing, black, and then you got to stop that to do rosewood you don't see too much, but mahogany or walnut, white, or a different color, it kind of slows production down. So you got to have it done a certain way. So that one's taking a little bit longer to get, but the ones that we've seen have been fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really nice. The touch of them, it's now granted, it's not an acoustic piano. It does have weighted keys, but you don't feel like you do on an acoustic piano.
Which is adjustable too, right?
Correct. So you have that. So if you go to an acoustic piano and that's, you feeling it's like, oh, it's a little too heavy. Yes, you can make it lighter. It's a lot harder to make an acoustic piano lighter than a digital piano because a digital piano, you hit a couple buttons and you're done. And, that's what I like. And there you go.
Right.
Plus, you can play silently. So, like, we have the headphones on.
Yep.
No one else can hear you. And we're playing it. You can play it and not disturb somebody.
It's great for practice.
Yes.
Right, exactly. So, there's a lot of pros with it than I thought in the previous podcast. So,
And which one did we sell today?
it was a
LX5.
LX5 in light oak color, which you don't see too much of those. And that's a big selling model.
Yeah.
So, and that's not their flagship one. The LX9 is their flagship, but the LX5
I think that might be a bigger seller here than we expected.
Being
by the beach, it's kind of light. It's
Right.
A lot of people have all that light wood by the beach and in the condos and all that stuff.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
might
that's
actually
true.
be a very big seller for us.
So here's the funny thing with the customer that bought this. So I knew exactly what she was looking for. The reason why is because we're taking a Steinway Model M and making it that beechwood color, okay? Because Steinway does that. And so I knew exactly what she was looking for. So her piano, she brought it in for us to rebuild, and we're refinishing it. So we did it in that light oak color for her. And it's walnut, but it's, the same color scheme. So I showed this customer who was looking for that color to show her what we're doing. And she goes, that's exactly what I want. And even the customer that we're doing this piano for loves it. They're super ecstatic so far with how it's turning out. So this customer wanted the same thing, but she's remodeling her home. And she says, I'm not ready, but let me get a digital. And then once my home's done, then we could work on doing a Steinway, possibly, and, in that light oak color, and sending this one to another home. And there you go. So it's kind of, once again, win, win, win. I mean, it works out for everybody where it's like they're getting what they need for now. Even if it's a temporary solution, it's still a solution. One way or the other, it's a solution.
Yeah, no, we with Jordan Kitt's music in the D.C. area back in the 90s, we sold Roland for quite a few years, and we moved a lot of Roland digital pianos, and it's a great product.
Yeah, it's I'm a baby steps kind of guy. That's how we got to where we are because when I first started the shop, it was okay, let me just start with this a little bit. Let me see what I can do, and then add on, and we are where we are. It's the same thing with Roland. That's what I'm doing. It's like I kind of took more of a 3-step jump instead of a 1-step with them because I was like, it's such a good product that I think it's worth taking that little bigger of a step.
Well, and you kind of have you got to have a range of things to offer people.
Right. And I wanted to have that because I didn't want to just have, just a couple little things. And then now we have a whole little selection here of 7 pianos. One's on the way, the GP6, for customers because, and even if, they like this, but I want this color or I want this other model. Well, we can order it for you now.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's kind of funny because I would say the last 4 or 5 customers that have called in about having, do you sell digital pianos? And I said, yes. And they said, well, what do you have? And I said, Roland. Say, oh, Roland, that's a good name. They love Roland because they're a good product.
Well, I was also talking to Wayne the other day when you were gone, and he was educating me that Roland was actually the first digital to come out.
Oh, really?
That's what he was telling me. And they've actually, continued with the digitals, and kept up with everything, all the bells and whistles through the years. So,
yeah, and you did some research on Roland, right?
I did, yeah, and it's just kind of slapped together. It's basically all just from the Wikipedia page, so take that for whatever it is. But Roland was founded by Ikutaro Kakehashi. Pardon me if that's not right, but I did my best. In Osaka, Japan, in 1972. And it started out, so I'm going to be flipping through notes here a little bit. He was the founder of ACE Electronic Industries in 1960, and then started rolling in 1972. And then there was other rival companies like Moog and ARP that were sort of targeting professionals and academics and institutions and stuff like that. But he didn't have a music background, so he was sort of targeting amateurs and just people learning and hobbyists and stuff like that. So he wanted everybody else was trying to go like mainstream, where he felt like there was something sort of on the beginning end. To get started with the with stuff. And where am I at now?
so it sounds like Wayne was wrong.
Well, so when you started talking about that, I was like, well, I didn't read anything about that because I don't know when the first digital pianos. We could look that up.
I'm
too.
gonna look that up right now.
But they first started with synthesizers and drum machines and stuff like that. So their first product was a drum machine, the TR-77, and then they moved in from there to synthesizers and effects pedals, which the effects pedals ended up becoming Boss, which is a big, huge brand, which is under Roland's umbrella.
So I just found it says the type of digital piano was first popularized by Roland in the late night or in the 1980s with their flagship stage piano at the time, RD-1000. So they popularized it.
Okay. Because especially for a stage piano, I mean, from the 60s and stuff, he'd be talking about a
organ.
No, you'd be talking about a Yamaha CP80.
No, that's not what I'm thinking about. Dag on it. The Rhodes.
The Fender
Fender Rhodes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was like
right. Yeah, that
the
was
deal.
That was that
Well,
was
that
the
little tiny.
No.
There was 2 models. There was a Rhodes, Fender Rhodes suitcase.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Really?
And then a Fender Rhodes. There was another one that was a little bit bigger or something like that. I believe.
Yep. The Fender Rhodes, basically, you would just open it up and you get a keyboard, boom, and then you just close it up and you're gone.
Right.
You tour with it.
Right. Yeah.
It had its own traveling case, pretty much.
But by you saying it popularized, I think that's probably making it a little bit more mainstream instead of just being on stage.
Gotcha.
Right.
So I don't know. We're just going off Wikipedia stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
We'll find out more.
Tune into our next podcast.
Yeah, we're a little bit more together. So, but one of the cool things though is he started Roland with 7 employees and a rented shed and $100,000. And so that's what they come up with the first drum machine with. And then they got into the synthesizers and the effects pedals, which it ended up becoming Boss, which is still a massive name
Huge.
in, all the pedals and effects stuff. And then they, because he's got all the electronics background, so he realized that microprocessors could be used on drum machines and launched what is known as the TR-808, which was the first programmable drum machine. And that was used on more hit records than any other drum machine and considered the hip-hop equivalent of the Fender Stratocaster. So that Roland TR-808 was sort of the origins of hip-hop music.
Oh, wow.
And I can remember now, I didn't, after I'm reading this, but I remember people, guys that I grew up with, some grew up with and knew later on that were, aspiring and want to be rappers and this and that I remember them saying TR-808, that we got to get one. Somebody's got that, blah, blah, blah. We can make a beat and blah, blah, blah. And then the synthesizers that they made was huge for, all that sort of synth pop music.
Yeah, because when the 80s came out, I mean, like Van Halen,
everything.
it was synthesizer.
Yeah,
I mean,
and all that, Frankie Goes to Hollywood and all, the new wave stuff. It was all synthesized stuff.
Right.
So, no, I mean, they're Roland is a major player in the music industry.
Yep.
Stuff.
But yeah, seriously, I mean, we really hope everyone's enjoying these podcasts. We hope you're having as much fun as we are, because we really are having a blast at these.
We are.
I mean, and I know it's a lot of work with what we're doing, and Jordan spends a lot of time editing and getting that stuff done. But, we want to continue this. We're having a really good time. We will have a guest next week, which will air a couple weeks after that, once Jordan finishes editing. But we have a lot of guests coming on. We hope you want to listen to us and keep following us, and once again, give us your feedback. We want to know, is there something you want us to talk about? Because if there is, we'll do it. I don't know if it has anything to do with pianos, but
That's fine.
It's fine.
We got opinions on everything.
We can talk about life. I mean, we can talk about dogs and cats and.
Oh, I love talking about dogs.
Yeah, and
we saw a great dog today at Lynn
We saw
University.
two great
we saw a
dogs.
couple great dogs today. Bella
Yep.
was at the pickup we did for
Yep.
Walter's piano training.
Yeah, which we just found out that one of our longtime customers, she
passed away.
of stage 4 cancer,
Uh-huh.
which she's been a longtime customer of ours. They're from Chicago. They came down. They brought their piano down here. Then we picked up the piano, brought it into our storage for a while they rebuilt their house in, was it Delray?
Boca
Del Rey area. And then, so she had called and asked us to deliver the piano. Well, her husband was at the house and she was still in Chicago. Well, she was on her way back to down here. And so she called and asked us to deliver the piano, which we got there, and the husband says, "Who called you?" So, well, your wife did. We're nowhere near ready for this piano yet. I know she wants it, but, so like a week later, he had let us know that, once we brought the piano, that they wanted it there because she had stage 4 cancer, and, give her a little peace before she passed.
Let her enjoy the piano.
Yeah. And then, unfortunately, we found out today she passed.
It's
So that was a bummer, but
yeah.
Bella was a really cool dog.
Yes, Bella was.
And she greeted us at the door. She was barking. She did her job.
Yep.
And she was barking like heck when we got there. And they had a dog sitter at the house. That's who met us, because the lady who passed, husband is also in the hospital as well.
Yeah.
And so Bella greeted us at the door, met us, and then instantly fell in love with us. We're both dog people, so that's always easy for the dogs to figure out. And So she was awesome. And then I don't know how we got on dogs, but anyway, there was another dog at Lincoln University, a golden retriever.
Yep.
That was just a sweetheart. I was still in the room, and you called me to come out. I'm like, what are you calling me for? Because you were
Just a dog, just a dog.
Yeah, that's
I didn't say
basically-
there was a dog
he
yet.
didn't say it, but that's what it was.
He's
It's
like,
like,
"What?
Mike,
What?"
come here. And I come out, and there's this golden retriever, and she was just adorable. And she immediately just coming up and started rubbing on me and all that stuff. And that's, you know what? Whenever we weren't even having a bad day. We were having a good day. But, man, those dogs, man.
They do.
A good dog just really perks
Brightens your
everything.
day.
I know.
God, I love the dogs.
You got to. Even when they're being a pain in the ass.
Yes. Which is all mine are, really. But other dogs are awesome.
You should hear what they think about you.
Quite sure of that.
Yeah, it's that, if you were having a bad day, that's going to brighten your day.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure.
I mean, it's sad to hear about our customer. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's so many families out in the world that go through that part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole family has died from cancer. I know what
Yeah.
that's like. So it's tough to hear that because I've gone through a lot of customers through my career that is like, oh, Mr. So-and-so died, Mrs. So-and-so died. Oh, she was a sweetheart. Oh, he was such a nice guy. So unfortunately it's just part of life.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I
But when I pull into the drive, or when we pulled up, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
It hit me. I was like, man, I know why this piano is going back to Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, I've shed a tear numerous times over hearing that the spouse calls me and tells me that, the husband died or vice versa. And it's one of those things that it's like, it hits you right here. It really does. Because, I think for us, we become more part of their
Extended
family.
Yes, for sure.
Because we've dealt with them for years.
When you gain somebody's trust,
right.
You do become a part of their inner circle. You don't have to call it family, inner circle,
Right,
for sure.
right. And, I mean, you're talking decades.
Their
It's not
piano
like-
inner circle.
Right.
Yes, an extended inner circle.
As long as you got a piano. but it's not just a year or two. I mean, you're talking decades.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got customers like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We've got customers like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, some of my customers, for 40 years we've been taking care of them. And we're taking care of their kids' piano and because they pass it on down. So it does. It gets a little tough.
I've got a customer that passed away that we moved him many times, me and my buddy Jerry Brandt, who worked for you for a little bit of time too, or actually with Cody. But
Cody,
you knew
yeah,
him through
Dan Cody.
Jerry, what's up, buddy? And I'm not gonna remember his name right now. Dang,
What a
on it.
surprise.
It's Jerry.
But it was the customer that we moved many times, and moved him into his girlfriend's apartment from his home, and he was back and forth, but he always kept his place available in case he's like, sometimes if they get in an argument, he's like, nah, I'm gotta go back to my place. So we moved him back and forth. We'd always schedule him towards the end of the day because he would always want to have a cigar with us. He couldn't smoke anymore because he had cancer and this and that and the other. But we would schedule him towards the end of the day because he was a cool guy. He was retired Navy and retired from Seminole Pratt Whitney. Seminole Pratt Whitney. And so he was an engineer, super cool dude. And he was at this time in his 80s. He couldn't smoke anymore, but he kept cigars, kept a humidor, and he knew we liked cigars. So he would always, want to sit down and have us enjoy a cigar with him. And we'd talk about whatever, Jerry, my buddy, was in the Army, so he had military background. So a lot of the conversation turned towards military stuff, but, also just Florida stuff and this and that and the other. And so I got a call eventually from his girlfriend, and she said, we need to get his piano picked up and send it to, she ended up donating it to Kathy Kretzer's foundation at the time. And she said, we got to get his piano picked up. And I was like, I just got to, something you
it's a
just
vibe.
know.
The vibe you
Right. By the way she's talking. Because first off, he was always the one to call me. And so now it was her calling me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh man, why is this happening? And so she's like, and then we're talking a little bit about logistics, and she started crying over the phone, and it hit me. I started crying over the phone. And I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys know or not, but I cry at the drop of a hat. My family knows. And so eventually we're both crying on the phone, and so she donated his piano, which actually ended up being part of Kathy Kretzer's painted pianos when she did all the painted pianos.
Yep.
This became the gator piano.
Oh,
his
okay.
piano became the one that was the alligator piano. So we go out to pick up the piano, and she spent a couple minutes with us at the beginning. Then she started crying. She had to walk away. And it was horrible. I know the feeling. And then, so she kind of knew my background with him. And then she comes out right as we got the parts loaded onto the truck. We got the piano loaded on the truck, and I'm going to get the paperwork signed or collect money, whatever it was. And she comes out with a humidor. And she goes, he would have, gosh, I almost had his name right there. He would have wanted you to have this. So I want you to have this. So
sweet.
my humidor that I use on a weekly basis is from him, and she gave it to me and had about 5 or 6 of cigars that he had bought that was in it. And I've still got one cigar that I won't smoke that was from him.
That's his.
And
Yep.
that's his. And it'll stay there as long as I'm alive.
Right.
And so every time I go to smoke a cigar, which I do, probably once a weekend or every other week for sure, I think about him every time. So that's just one of those relationships, that you build.
You say, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? I don't remember your name, but
I do from time
I'm
to
here
time.
with you, buddy."
Yeah.
Thank you.
But what a great story.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's that part of it. It's like I have one too before we go. So Mr. Slotkin, I tuned for
Damn it,
him.
you had to remember his name, didn't
I'm
you?
sorry. I tuned for him when my uncle passed away. It was my uncle's customer. So I was very nervous with him. I don't know why, but I was nervous. He had a little Yamaha vertical piano, and he just gave that aura of one of these type of guys. We ended up becoming really good customer friends, if you say it that way. So he ended up coming to my shop looking for a Steinway. He loved this one Steinway, but he's like, no, I just want a new one. So he bought a new Steinway M. I want to say about 10 years ago. So he buys this piano, and it was nice. It was a nice Steinway, and I got his Yamaha from him. I bought it from him, and so he loved me. And he does, and one of the reviews, if you look it up way back in the day, he's like, I'm not one to give reviews, but Tobias Hamilton, blah 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 blah. He's one of those guys. So he even got me in touch with the Steinway dealer in, I think it was Michigan or Detroit or something, wherever he was from. So anyway, which. Detroit, Michigan, it's just kind of the same thing, right? So
one's a city, one's a state.
Yeah, well, but I'm not geographically inclined, So, but anyway, so
Terrible highways.
Shortly before he had passed away, he couldn't play his piano, and the bench, he had a concert artist bench, was too hard for him. So he asked me, he goes, "Do you have something that I can rent from you?" I said, "Don, no problem. I've got a chair. Let me see if this works. I'll bring it when I tune the piano. If it works for you, use it and let me know when you're done with it." So I brought the bench in. He loved it. Unfortunately, he passed away, and his wife had called me and told me that he had passed away. She goes, "But Tobias, he was able to play his piano as long as he could because of that chair, because it didn't hurt his back so much. And he was able to sit there and play the piano. So thank you very much. You can come and pick it up at any time." And I said, "Thank you. We'll figure that out when that time comes." That one little random act of kindness that we did was nothing on our part, was everything to them.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So everybody, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. We had a blast again. We hope you did too. Once again, follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and everywhere else.
Spotify.
Spotify, everywhere that we are. We really want feedback, so please let us know how you think we're doing. If you think we suck, let us know. We want to know. I mean, because we want to know if we can do things better. And if
Nah,
there's
keep that. I don't care about that.
info@hamiltonpiano.com.
well, I want to know, so tell me.
Just tell me I'm great. That's all I want to hear.
Well, but put Mike Hayden, because if you put Mike, he won't know which one. Won't know which is which. And thank you very much. We hope you tune in next time. And everybody, have a good New Year. Really appreciate it.
Love you guys.
Thank
Be
you for
good.
turning in.
Good night.